How much are Pokemon card investors really spending? This is an interesting video, and it is one of those videos where you don't need to watch the screen. Pop your headphones in while you're going for a walk, pop the music on, put the channel on while you're going for a drive in the car, put it on the TV while you're doing some housework or pottering around home or whatever it might be. This is one of those videos you don't need to watch. No graphics on the screen. Let's just talk Pokemon card investing. So how many people, or what are people actually spending on Pokemon card investing? Really interesting topic, one that I was really interested in, and over the years I guess I've compiled some information on it. But moreover than that, it really is anecdotal evidence. So I just wanted to be upfront with that. It's more an experience-based video, this one. It's not going around like I didn't poll 1 million people or 10,000 people or 1,000 people and say, when exactly did you start investing in Pokemon cards and how much have you spent? Like, that would make it easier, wouldn't it? But there's lots of, I suppose, data outlets and points that we can grab. There's anecdotal evidence from conversations that I've had with people. There's the commentary I get in my videos. There's the emails I get sent. We can look on Reddit that's done polls on different people on, when you start investing and how much you got invested. We can look at people's collector app, total values, and see how much people have. So let's jump into it. And the way I've split it up, I've really split it up into 5 segments. So I think there's 5 types of Pokemon card investors, and I'm going to run you through each of those 5 types and how much roughly they should or roughly have spent on Pokemon cards. Now, you might find watching this video that you fall into one of those types. So let's start it off, and this is what I call a new investor. A new investor is someone that's been into the hobby for really around 12 months. And I'm going to say someone that started mid-2024 onwards. So mid-2024 is when we pretty much reached the halfway point or a little bit past in Scarlet and Violet era. Twilight Masquerade, just to give you a reference, came out in May 2024. And interestingly enough, it was followed by Shrouded Fable, which had this massive cock up from distribution and getting product out to stores. But then it was really Stellar Crown. If you talk to anyone that sold Pokemon cards, it was this weird time around Stellar Crown that pre-orders just went through the roof. This is when people started upping the volume into Pokemon card investing. So again, around mid-2024, followed by Surging Sparks, which took up even more, and then followed by, of course, the early 2025 set in Prismatic Evolutions. But it was mid-2024 where things really, really ramped up. And that's what I would call a new investor, someone very, very new to the hobby. Like, you've been in the investing space for about 12 months. And what all the data points tell us is you're probably going to have spent, in terms of investment, both on graded singles, raw singles, and sealed product, somewhere in the vicinity of $2,500 to $7,500 US. Now, maybe that's because you bought a case of Surging Sparks. Maybe you've got 4 Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes. Maybe you've got Umbreon EX from Prismatic Evolutions in a PSA 10. Either way, your collection might have added up in total value somewhere between $2,500 to $7,500 US. Now, if you were to put this in the collector app, for argument's sake, which is of course today's video sponsor, no dedicated time slot to it, but what you'll find in the collector app is once you put in exactly what you've made, exactly what you own, both singles and sealed product, it'll give you total value. So you can put in what you've spent and then you can see total value. And what you'll find is there has been a little bit of growth for these new investors. So new investors from mid-2024 onwards, and again, it might be some of you guys and girls at home listening, you might have made yourself somewhere around like 50 to 80% growth on your investments, particularly if you bought them at a time when you could actually buy product at a recommended retail price. Because a lot of those modern sets from 2024 onwards, whether we're talking Twilight Masquerade, whether we're talking even Shrouded Fable, Surging Sparks, a lot of those sets have gone up around that 50% mark. So you could have made big money relatively quickly if you're a new investor to the hobby. Now, the second type of investor I wanted to talk about, in my opinion, and this is maybe the most controversial one, and maybe the group of people that almost cop the most hate, and that is COVID investors, people that came somewhere into the hobby early to mid 2020. So when COVID really started to kick off, we had a lot of things really stir along the hobby. And look, if you're a new investor, you might not know this, or if you've been around the hobby for ages, again, like I might be preaching to the converted here, but of course we had some big names come into the hobby. People like Logan Paul, so some influencers, I guess, joined the hobby. We also had things like stimulus checks being handed out, lots of people sitting at home wanting to relive some sort of nostalgia or fill in time almost. You know, collecting is one of those things you can do at home and fill in time and buy online. Like, you don't actually need to physically hop in your car and go to a shop. You can buy product online and open it at home and, you know, play the TCG with people at home. It was almost the rise of that YouTuber space, wasn't it? It was the rise of like Pokemon investing social media, whether it's on Reddit, you know, the Poke Investing Reddit forum sort of started then, whether it's on YouTube, a bunch of YouTubers started up. It really was that time when these COVID investors started to come in. And if you do the sums, I guess the average COVID investor probably has spent somewhere around 10 to 20,000 US dollars. And in that time, their collection might be worth somewhere more like 50 to 60,000 US dollars now because of the rapid growth Sword and Shield, both singles and sealed product, have had. Now on that, some people also, I would call these more heavy COVID investors. There was also some people that spent, you know, somewhere in the vicinity of like around 50 to 100K during Sword and Shield era. And those people now, those heavy COVID investors, are probably sitting on a portfolio somewhere around 250 to 300,000 US dollars if they spent 50 to 100,000 dollars. A lot of sets, you know, just take a few for example. People that went heavy and bought a couple of cases of Fusion Strike. People that went heavy and bought a couple of cases of Evolving Skies. People that went heavy and bought, you know, multiple 25th anniversary UPCs or Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. People that bought copies of Moonbryon when it was, you know, whatever it was got down to, 700-800 US dollars raw. Like people that bought multiple PSA 10 copies when those big chase cards from Sword and Shield era, where it was Gengar V Max, Giratina V, Lugia V were at their lowest. Like those people have doubled, tripled in cases like Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, like 4, 5, 6x their money in a short, you know, 5-year period or 4-year period. So those COVID investors have actually done quite well for themselves. Now, the next cohort I wanted to chat to you about in terms of where the money's being spent, how much is being spent, is early investors. So these people were ahead of the trend. These people were ahead of the social media bandwagon. You know, the COVID investors that a lot of people hopped on board because it was starting to pop up on their Instagram reels or their YouTube feed, or they saw Logan Paul, you know, posting about opening base set and reliving nostalgia and having so much fun with it, is the early investors. These are like people that were back in, you know, maybe late black and white era, XY era, that started to hold products, whether because they liked it and they wanted to just collect it, or whether they saw maybe some future potential into sealed Pokemon cards or single Pokemon cards, whether it was, you know, graded slabs from XY era, like there's graded cards from Ancient Origins or Flashfire or Phantom Forces that have very, very low PSA 10 populations, which have absolutely taken off now, that are worth, you know, in vicinity of $5,000 to $10,000 for low pop PSA 10 XY, you know, Mega Evolution cards. Also, if you had the nous, like I said, to buy yourself booster boxes or even cases of things like Ancient Origins, Flashfire, Phantom Forces, even something like Furious Fist, which has very low chase cards inside it. You know, people who were those early investors, they're going to have collections well north of 200,000 US dollars if you got in early back then, and you might have spent, you know, very, very little. Like you might have spent 600 US dollars on a case of Ancient Origins when it was launched. Roaring Skies is another example. Even moving into Sun and Moon sets, you know, if you're an early investor and saw that, and you saw that trend and you were picking up cases of things like Burning Shadows or Team Up when it came out, I mean, bang, look at the profit you could have made. Like you might have only spent 5 to 10,000 US dollars on cases, and your whole collection could be worth well and truly in excess of 200, 300,000 US dollars. So those early investors that got onto the trend before it happened are absolutely laughing in the amount of profit they've locked in and made. The fourth type of investor that I wanted to talk about is heavy investor. Now, these are the people that are just bringing bags of cash into the hobby. Maybe they're not knowledgeable, maybe they don't care about Pokemon card investing. These are the guys or girls that, I guess, seek advice from those experts in the hobby on where exactly they should park mega bucks. I'm talking, you know, I've got not me personally, you know, I'm talking, you know, hypothetically here, I've got, you know, 500,000 US dollars to spend because I've got multi-million dollars worth of property portfolio. My shares are all tied up. Crypto's going well. Like my net worth is well in excess of $10 million. I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. I've heard it's going to pop off. You know, where can I park 500,000 US dollars? These are the heavy investors. People that maybe don't have that inside knowledge, but they've heard it's going okay and they want to try their luck in another alt investment. So they're parking 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, $1 million into Pokemon cards. And maybe they did it whenever, during maybe late Sword and Shield. Maybe they picked up Lost Origin. Maybe they picked up Fusion Strike. Maybe they picked up Silver Tempest. Maybe they picked up some of those early S&V sets like Paldea Evolved. And, you know, if they've parked that amount of money, like, just think of it. And I know these are extreme numbers, but there are heavy investors that have come into this hobby. Imagine if you bought $500,000 worth of Fusion Strike booster boxes back when they were like 100 US dollars each. And I don't even know what they're going for now. I think they've pulled back a little bit with this sort of slight retrace that we've seen lately. What's a Fusion Strike booster box going for? Is it 800 bucks, 850 bucks? So you could have 8 or 8.5x your money. And I know this is a crazy scenario and like it's probably not happened, but if someone hypothetically did buy $500,000 worth of Fusion Strike booster boxes, 8x, they're sitting on about $4 million worth of Fusion Strike booster boxes right now. So there are heavy investors that go, you know what? This could be a relatively aggressive, fast-term alt investment where I could park some money. And finally, the fifth type of investor I wanted to talk about, and the amount of money they might have spent or have in the hobby, is the been in the game forever investor. And really, this sort of investor is fueled by passion and collectability. You know, not so much an investor. They've just got lucky and are left with such a fantastic, rare, phenomenal Pokemon card collection that I guess you could call it an investment piece for the future. You know, these are people that have some of the best PSA 10 slabs of some of the best singles and some of the best sealed product you could possibly find. You know, I'm talking collections of well in excess of $1 million US dollars. And again, fueled by passion and collectability over the years. You know, maybe they bought PSA 10 Chanseys and Charizards from first edition base set. Maybe they have Skyridge booster boxes. Maybe the EX era was their favorite era. And way back when they were buying PSA 10 copies of, you know, Gold Star Latias, Gold Star Pikachu, Gold Star Mewtwo, Gold Star Gyarados, Gold Star Charizard, whatever it might be. Booster boxes of EX Dragon Frontiers, booster boxes of EX Power Keepers, booster boxes of EX Team Rocket Returns. Maybe they've got black and white booster boxes because they love that era as well, because they've got, you know, Plasma Storm and Plasma Freeze and Plasma Blast and Dragons Exalted and you name it. Maybe their whole it's just fueled by passion over the years, and now they're just left with this crazy $1 million plus awesome collection fueled by passion, which is just worth so much money that it has become an investment. You know, maybe over the years they've spent somewhere around $100,000 or $200,000 on Pokemon cards, but now it's worth $1, $2, $3 million. Like, those things can happen. Well, there you go. I think that's, from anecdotal evidence, I think that's where money is parked. And I know I've left this right to the very end, but hey, you might have noticed that I've got the moustache going on for November. We call it Movember. That is raising money for men's mental health and suicide prevention. Also, we're talking about health concerns that predominantly affect men, like prostate, cancer, for argument's sake. So, hey, I have a page going with work where trying to raise as much money as we possibly can. Thank you to anyone that has donated. There'll be a link in the description if you wanted to donate to my Movember page. This is Michael, Pokeoz. Catch everyone next time. Thanks heaps.